Congressman Mullin. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I want to get to the trip that you took to Afghanistan in just a bit, because I want to hear what you saw. But I want to talk about this protest that happened to a sitting senator, Kyrsten Sinema, that we just saw there. People following her into a bathroom because they don't like her political stance. And it's her own side, by the way. President Biden said today it's not appropriate, but it's part of the process. Congressman, I don't think it's part of the process to follow someone into a bathroom because you don't like their position.
Sean, I've known Kyrsten for years. We served together in the House, and while we don't agree on every topic, she is who she is, and she's unapologetic, right. And her no's are no's and her yes is yes, and everybody knew that when they elected her. And what they're doing right now is just trying to bully her. There is boundaries, and she handled that pretty well, probably a heck of a lot better than I would have handled it. But you have to have certain boundaries, and people have taken it way too far. And this is following her to the bathroom, recording her. If this would happen to anybody else, they would have been absolutely livid. If this would happen to
Congressman, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? So you had, what was it? Eric Holder saying, when they go live, we hit them. Maxine Waters saying we surround them. Now you have the President of the United States saying, well, this is part of the process. The Democrats who like to call out everything bad that happened on January 6th are defending this kind of behavior.
Well, but they're the ones that stirred this up. If this would have happened to AOC, she would have been in there crying. I mean, but since it's happened to someone that doesn't agree with what their policies are, they assume that it's okay. And once again, they lit this fire, and when you light the fire like that, you got to be prepared to fight the fire too. And this is what the Democrat Party had done for 4 years underneath the Trump administration, and now they've turned their attention on them because guess what? They can't deliver what they promised that they were going to do because it's undeliverable. It's not even reasonable or acceptable because they know as good as we do it would totally disrupt and wreck our country. Our country has a certain foundation that was given to us on freedoms and behaviors with the Bill of Rights and our Constitution. And when you try to break down that foundation, everybody knows that the building that's built on will crumble on top of itself. That's why socialism does not work. You can't name one successful socialist country that has been successful that's went from a democracy to a socialist atmosphere. It just doesn't work.
Congressman, I do want to shift gears with you because you were on the Taiwan Congressional Caucus, and today the Chinese military did send 52 military planes into Taiwan's air defense zone. This is the most we've ever seen in a single day, and this comes one day after the U.S. issued a warning to Beijing over similar flights it conducted in recent days. We also had the foreign minister of Taiwan today say that they are preparing for war. If this does escalate, are you confident the U.S. will stand with Taiwan?
You know, I would have been, but the way that I've seen this Biden administration behave in Afghanistan and the way they've tackled foreign policy, every president has been challenged when they first come in, especially the first year. You saw the way Trump responded to the chemical attack. You saw when they killed a captain in Afghanistan that he dropped the largest bomb since World War II. He responded with strength, like Reagan said, peace through strength. What you've seen here is you've seen this president run, and he's continued to run. And so now you're going to continue to see bad behavior from people like China. And I don't blame Taiwan. I will hope and pray that we stand with our allies. But if I'm them, I would be questioning the behavior of this president. I question it. I mean, what we've done in Afghanistan is horrific. The way we've left our own American people, the way we've left AMSETs, American citizens, in Afghanistan, the way we walked away from that and allowed the Afghanistan or the Taliban to run into Afghanistan and basically say they ran us out. Now, I agree with pulling out, but the way we did it is absolutely disastrous. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing bad behavior from bad countries that's going to continue to see weakness in the American government, which has happened underneath the Biden administration. And I expect more behavior to go forward, just like this.
So I know you were in Afghanistan personally. Your team's been working to get people out of Afghanistan still. What did you see? What does your team deal with that the mainstream media is not telling the American people?
Listen, Sean, we're there working every single day, and my team is still there. And honestly, I would have still be there if I could have been, especially if the Washington Post wouldn't have ran that absolute ridiculous and full of lies, not a single truth story about me saying that I was lost in Afghanistan. We always knew where we're at. We just realized we wasn't getting help from our own government. In fact, they were fighting us every way. We're continuing to see a tremendous amount of success, but we are literally having to do it without the U.S. government's help. We shouldn't be there. Private contractors shouldn't be there. This is what the State Department is supposed to be doing, and the State Department is absolutely missing in action here. We have an ambassador in one of the countries, and I really would like to throw him underneath the bus, but we're still having to use that country. But we have an ambassador in a country to which we're having success moving AMSETs, American citizens, and LPRs, which are green card holders, legal permanent residents of the United States, across the border. But we have an ambassador that will not engage with us at all. We had two 85-year-old American citizens that we had got out of the hands of the Taliban, was on the bridge that led into the other country, but not inside the hands of the Taliban anymore. And our ambassador let them sit there for 2.5 days and actually sent them back into Afghanistan. And my team had to go get them and bring them back across. This just happened last week. We literally just got them out Saturday morning. And the ambassador allowed them to go back after I'd personally called the guy. This is the same guy that said I threatened him too, which I absolutely didn't. But this is what this ambassador told me. While we were trying to get American citizens out, this is what he told me, Sean. He says, Mr. Mullin, I would love to help you, but Washington has told me not to assist you in any way. Can you believe that? We're trying to get Americans out. I'm not trying to get refugees out. I'm not even trying to get SIVs out, which I would love to get SIVs out because we need to get them out. I'm just simply trying to get out American citizens and those that we're responsible for, which is the LPRs, the legal permanent residents of the United States, to get out. And I've got an ambassador there that won't even help us because Washington told him not to assist us.
I think I know who that is, and I know the country, but I will respect your wishes and not mention them. But at some point, we will need to call it out. Congressman,
Absolutely.
Thank you for your actions, and thank you for sharing your story with us.
John, thanks for having me on. I'd love to come on anytime.
Appreciate that.